I'm going to talk about self-love and self-critique. These are two opposite things, but they are kind of connected to each other. Self-love is what it is. It means loving yourself, and loving yourself means having respect for yourself. If you don't love yourself, don't expect other people to do the same. Do not rely on other people or society to love you or to validate you. Self-critique is overly criticizing yourself, overly blaming yourself for in simply life, and you're blaming yourself for the way you look, you're blaming yourself for the way you think, you're blaming yourself for the way you interact, you're blaming yourself for life outcomes. And you kind of have to find a balance. When you are criticizing yourself for something, you need to be able to sit down and have like a self-reflection of who you are. Okay, because if you know who you are, you won't spend time criticizing or looking low on yourself because maybe other people or other events are projecting that on you. So you have to develop self-love. Love yourself so that you don't overly criticize you. And also, how can you develop self-love? The first thing is to know who you are. If you know who you are, you know your flaws, you know your strengths, you just know who you are, then you are going to be able to minimize self-doubt. You're going to be able to minimize self-critique. Because why is it so? Because if you know who you are and every other thing, you know your values, you know what you uphold, every other thing that comes into life, and especially things that conflict with what you uphold, those things are not going to make any sense to you. And so it's going to minimize you criticizing yourself, because you'll be like, you know what, this thing happened like this, but I know exactly who I am, so I don't care. Another way to enhance or to like know who you are, or to enhance self-love or self-positivity, is to be able to take actual steps in doing that. So first of all, you know who you are, and then you have to actively take steps in achieving that. So you work on your weaknesses. If you know that there's something that you need to work on, you need to work on it. If it means that you need to work on the way you interact with different people, the way you view other people's opinions, you have to work on that and learn how to embrace other people's opinions. Let's learn how to embrace other people's values. And you're embracing other people's values doesn't mean that you're going to like embody those values. You know what I'm saying? Just respect them, and just kind of have boundaries. Set strict boundaries, and have your own values that you protect them, and you have strict boundaries to protect those values. And such things is going to minimize self-critique, and it's all going to help you as you live your life and as you go through life. So hopefully this makes sense, and hopefully this help clarify someone that has an issue with self-love, or that has an issue with self-critique. Bye.